am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
Athletic enough to get to any ball. And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
So he reached double digits. The big question has been answered.
It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
The steal of the draft is Will Taylor to the Texas Rangers in the 19th round after he signs with them.
We'll see what happens during his career. It's important to keep his Scotty around, Chris Middleton. It's important to keep his Dennis Rodman, which I believe is like Drew Holiday, another important defender, a guy who's a team builder. And maybe that's PJ Tucker. I don't know who's the Dennis Rodman of the team.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like, good job, Manfred. You won't get many of those for the rest of the year.
And you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. There's no way. There's no way.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people. Not 2006. You already took your math shot.
Well, it's also like you think, oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. Just because you bought the best vacuum doesn't mean the floor is going to be not dirty.
And then you have the Diamondbacks. And then Giants, I have them above the Rockies because I don't have any idea what the Rockies are doing.
Sam Bennett's someone I really expected to be a better player.
There will be a Rodgers playing for Green Bay, even though he may not be the quarterback. But it's still unknown there. Austin is giving me the dead stare, so I guess don't mention Aaron Rodgers to him right now.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians and to just help give some insights on what he did last year.
I agree 100%, and the reason why I agree is because this is a terrible trade for the long term.
What would you have said if I bet you $100 at the end of the round robin and start of the playoffs that the Stars would be in the Stanley Cup playoffs or Stanley Cup finals?
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week for September 12th. So today for the NHL, we will be predicting the game one starter for all teams. But before we do that, let's play a little game. 2 impossible statements, 2 improbable statements, 2 probable, and 2 lock statements will be said. Austin and I will both say those, and there will be points added. Austin, can you go over the points?
Sure. So you get 2 points if you get your impossibles or locks correct, and 1 point if you get your improbable or probable correct. However, you will get -1 if you get a lock or impossible incorrect. So when we say a statement, like let's say Jeff rides his bike in impossible, if Jeff rides his bike, we lose a point. So that's obviously not going to happen, but that's just for an example.
Yep. We apologize to all the Jeffs that are riding their bikes. Let's just get into it. I'll say my first impossible statement. The Bruins and Lightning will miss the playoffs. That's impossible.
Wow, you went very, very safe. My first impossible is the Coyotes will make the playoffs.
Wow. Okay. My second one is Patrick Kane wins the Hart.
Wow. I have Sabres win greater than 25 games, which for reference, the last time we had a full season, the team with the least amount of wins had 29. So I'm predicting them to have 25 or less wins. It is impossible for them to have 26 or more, even though most worst teams in the league have more. I think the Sabres will be even worse than that.
Okay. Now on to our improbable statements. Kaprizov signs with the KHL. That's improbable for me.
I have Markstrom wins the Vezina.
Ooh, okay. Then I have Blackhawks miss the playoffs.
I have McDavid does not lead the league in points.
Okay. Okay, now onto our probable statements. Tarasenko will be traded.
Wow, you're going really risky with that one. I mean, that one's definitely going to happen. But Canadians missed playoffs is my first probable.
Okay. Okay. Now I have the Islanders make the conference finals.
Mine is Tampa wins the East,
Okay.
like division,
Okay.
during the regular season.
Now, okay. Gotcha. Now onto our locks. Miro Heiskanen will be a Norris finalist this year.
My first lock, Florida makes the playoffs.
Okay. Okay. Now, Marc Andre Fleury is a Vezina finalist. So both my locks are finalists.
Got it. I also have Flurry in mind, but mine's Flurry wins greater than or equal to 30 games. So I
Okay.
predict that Marc-Andre Fleury will have more wins than the Buffalo Sabres by at least 5.
All right. All right. That's good. That's a good little connection between your impossible and lock. So, speaking of Flurry, let's start with goalies. We will be going in alphabetical order for each team. Austin will start say his, and then I'll say mine. So,
Yeah.
you first.
So these are game 1 starters who we think will be on the ice to start game 1. Not if they get pulled, we're just saying this is who's starting game 1. We'll start with Anaheim, the first team. I have John Gibson. I think there's only one choice here, and I don't really understand any argument against it.
I do not disagree with you. I got Gibson as well. Hopefully, the Ducks can get better, and then Gibson uh, gets more recognition. Who's your second team?
So yeah, the second team is the Arizona Coyotes. The goalie I think will start game 1 is Ben Hutton.
Okay, I have Hutton as well. So, uh, we're 2 for 2 so far. Let's move on to the 3.
It could change here. 3 is Boston. I have Olmark starting game 1. And I'm pretty sure you would have chose Swayman, but you may have chose Olmark. I don't know.
I chose Olmark because
Wow.
Olmark did well with the Sabres. Swayman, I think maybe later on, but we're 3 for 3. What about 4?
So 4 is Buffalo, and I have Aaron Dell making the game 1 start.
You and I disagree. I have them
Hmm.
going with Freddie Anderson because they
Wait, they don't have Freddie Anderson. They have
wait
Craig Anderson,
Craig Anderson. My
the
bad.
guy who was with Washington last year in the playoffs.
Yes,
Got it.
yes, the guy that they signed.
Yeah.
I believe he starts game 1.
Got it. Now you may have Freddie Anderson for this one. The next team is Carolina, and I do have Freddie Anderson starting game 1 for the Hurricanes.
Yes, I believe that is my pick as well, as I'm having trouble seeing Carolina. Uh, where did I put it? Should be in order, but I'm very sure that I had Anderson because they signed him in the offseason.
Yeah, the only
Yes.
other
Yeah, I found it.
player they could have started really would be Antti Ranta, and Ranta, while he's a good goaltender, has injury concerns, and I feel like they're going to start out with Anderson. The next team is Calgary, and I have Markstrom starting game 1. I don't really see another choice for that, but we'll see what you go with.
I did go with Markstrom as well, as he played well for them last year. So, next team.
We're definitely going to have the same one for this. This is Chicago. We both definitely have Flurry here, and I'd be shocked if you say anything other than that.
No, I don't have Fleury. No, I do have Fleury. I just want to add a little suspense. Yeah, like when you make that trade and you get it, it's you have to start him. And why wouldn't you start Fleury if he is a goalie on your team?
Yeah. Next is Colorado. I have Darcy Kemper, who moved from Arizona. I think he starts game 1.
Yes, that's who I have as well. Kemper, given how Grubauer left him, they had a backup plan and they traded for Kemper. I see them starting them. What's your team? What's the next team?
So the next team is the Columbus Blue Jackets. I have Elvis starting, Elvis Morris Lincolns. I think he starts game 1. What about you?
That's who I have as well.
Got it. The next team is Dallas. We could differ here. I'm probably thinking if I had to guess what you were gonna say, I would guess you would say Ottinger, but I'm saying Braden Holtby.
You are correct. I have Ottinger. I think the Stars are really high on Ottinger, so they're going to start him game one. And they've lost hope, or they're not as high as they once were with Hudobin, given how he faltered last year after that incredible run to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, but I just think because you signed Braden Holtby, it's to be a starter, or at least to see if he can maintain that job. So I think they give him the game one start. The next team is Detroit. Again, after you make a trade like this, I feel like they have to start Nedeljkovic game one, um, and that's the only answer that makes sense really.
Yeah, I agree. I have Nedeljkovic as well, as for the same reasons that you do.
Yeah. Next is Edmonton. This one again, it's only one. I know they have Koskinen, but Mike Smith, who's had a great long career and he's I think 40 now or close to 40, is going to be the game one starter for Edmonton despite his age. He had a real resurgence last year and was a main reason why they made the playoffs at the seed they did.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm checking on his birthday right now. He is 39 right now, but he will be 40 as his birthday is in March on the 22nd.
Got it. So this season he turns 40.
Yeah.
Got it. The next team on the list is Florida. And because of the contract this guy's on, I feel like you have to start him, even though they do have Spencer Knight. I think they start Bobrovsky. What about you?
That's who I have as well. I was conflicted to have Knight as my starter, but I think we could see that maybe in the middle of the season. But the contract is also a thing where you do have to start Bobrovsky in both our opinions.
Yeah. So next we have the Kings. This one really only has one answer to me, even though it could be Jonathan Quick. I think they go with Cal Peterson. The guy that they really hope is that next Jonathan Quick in their organization.
So with the Kings, I have Peterson.
Yeah.
So
Same as me.
okay.
Next is Minnesota. This one only really has one answer, Cam Talbot. He really shined in the playoffs and was a big reason why that game went, not that game, that series went to game seven.
Yeah, I agree. And it's looking so far as a good trade. But the main thing with the Wild is will Kaprizov sign that contract? And we're hoping he does so we can make our predictions.
Yeah, that's really the hope right now. Next is Montreal. It could be Jake Allen if Carey Price misses. I guess technically it could be Caden Primo, but I really don't think he's even on the NHL team this year, unless Price or Allen goes down with the injury. But I have Carey Price starting game one. I think he'll be 100% by then and got the game one start.
I have Jake Allen because I don't believe Price starts. I think he's going to be a little late, and they're going to take some extra care with him, given just how long the season has been for Price.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next, the Nashville Predators. Obviously, their mainstay Pecorine retired. A 2016-17 Vezina winner. Could be possibly a Hall of Famer. Obviously, had that run to the I think it's 2018 Vezina. I know he won a Vezina and obviously went to the Stanley Cup Finals with the Predators. Made that amazing run, but now it's UC Soros net, and I think he's the only real answer for the game one starter.
Yep, I agree. I have Saros as well, so I think we can move on to the next team.
Yep. The next team is the Jersey Devils. This one again only has one answer really. It's Mackenzie Blackwood. I know Wedgwood played well last year, but Blackwood's really supposed to be their elite goaltender this year.
Yeah, and he gets some great defensive help with Dougie Hamilton. So
Yeah.
agreement once again.
This isn't all that interesting. We don't have that many differences. Next is New York Islanders, and while they could start Sorokin, I don't think they will. And so I have Varlamov starting off the season. So I'm assuming you agree with that too, because he obviously was the goaltender throughout the playoffs and got them to the conference finals for the second straight year.
Yeah, Sorokin did do well in some starts, but when they were facing the Lightning, Varlamov did better. So I think he's your game one starter because he has more experience.
Yep. Next is The New York Rangers. I really only think there's one answer here. I'm interested to see if you differ with mine, but I have Shesterkin. I feel like he is definitely the game one starter, and while he's growing as a young goaltender, this Rangers team's trying to make a playoff push.
That's who I have as well. They're a young team, and they have a young goaltender who's looking to get better.
Next is Ottawa. We may differ here. I'm assuming that you have Matt Murray. I do not. I have Gustafsson. Gustafsson had a 933 save percentage in his first season last year, and I really think that he could be that goaltender for the future for Ottawa.
I have Matt Murray, so we disagree. As I just think you make that trade for Matt Murray, so you're gonna try, and you also gave him that extension, so you're just gonna try to get him more reps, and hopefully he gets back to what he was when he was in Pittsburgh.
Is that our second uh, difference? I think it
I,
is. I think
okay, I was
we
thinking
disagreed on
three.
Dallas.
Dallas. Didn't we disagree
Oh no,
on?
we disagreed on Buffalo. Okay, so
Yeah,
it is three. So Buffalo, where I had Dell and you had Anderson. Then right now Dallas, where I had Holtby, you had Ottinger, and obviously now Ottawa, where I have Gustafson, you have Matt Murray. Next is Philadelphia. Again, I really think it's only one answer. I think he'll be back 100% by the time the season starts. Carter Hart.
that's who I have as well, and a little bit of a down year, but I believe he'll get back to it. So, and they'll start him, of course.
Next is Pittsburgh, and even though he had a really tough playoffs, Tristan Jarry is really the answer here, and I'd be surprised if you differ.
I don't differ. It's Jari. So only three differences.
I really expect this one to be number 4. It's Seattle. I have Drieger starting game 1. Now you may have Grubauer, but I have Drieger.
I have Grubauer, so you are correct. I just think Grubauer, with how he did with the Avalanche, I think you see him start game 1. But both are great options
Yeah,
to
there's
start.
no wrong choice. Next is St. Louis. Really, only one answer. Jordan Bennington, the guy who helped them to their first cup ever in 2019. And while he did had a down year the past 2 years, I expect him to at least get back to normal.
Yeah, and the Blues, if he can get back to that level, that would just be incredible and would really help their hopes to get back to the Stanley Cup final.
The next team's Tampa Bay. I mean, I honestly could just skip this one. We all know it's Vasilevsky. Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
we can move
it,
on.
it has to be. It back-to-back Stanley Cups. Best goaltender in the league, arguably.
Only Vesna player to stay on the team this past off season, or Vesna finalist.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not surprising to me that he uh, is the game one starter, and he will be for years and years and years down the line. Next is Toronto. Jack Campbell. He played outstanding last year, helped them to the playoffs. I know they lost to the Canadians, but it was not his fault.
Yeah, I have Jack Campbell as well, as he took over that spot when Anderson went down, and they let Anderson walk. So Campbell's the starter.
Yep. And I feel like they let Anderson walk because they knew what they had in Jack Campbell, and it's also less money. So I think everything worked out, even though Mrazek's now his backup. If they do have issues with Campbell, Mrazek can step in and be a good backup. Um, Next is Vancouver. I believe there's only one answer here, even though they did pick up Halak. I obviously have Demko. He had a great playoff run back in 2020, which still was less than a year ago. I guess technically it was more than a year ago for that series, but Demko was really amazing during that year. Got it to a game 7, almost beat Vegas, and then obviously Vegas loses to the Stars. So yeah, I have Demko. But it's going to be interesting to see if he can perform as well as he did in the playoffs.
I have Demko as well. So I think we can move on. I agree with all the reasons that you said to have Demko.
Next is Vegas, our third to last team. This one has to be Leonard. You don't trade Fleury and then not start Leonard, so yeah, it has to be.
Yep, it's Leonard. So I you're saying the reasons, and I just go, yep, thumbs up.
Last two teams, we may be different here. You may have Vanacek. I have Samsonov. I think Samsonov is the better goaltender. And Vanacek, even though he's a good young goaltender, I don't think he starts game 1.
I have Vanacek because I think
So that's our fifth
you
difference.
trade for him. So you trade to get him back. So I was like, let him start, and then maybe Samsonov takes over in the beginning and near the end. But I have Vanacek to start off.
Got it. Last team, I mean, I could say it's Hellebuck, it's the Jets, it's whatever. Hellebuck was the only reason why they were even competitive in the playoffs last year, and they did make it to the second round against one of the best offensive teams in the league. But the answer is Hellebuck.
Yep, that's mine. He played so well against such good offense. So that is it for our goalies. What final comments do you have?
Yeah, I think we should do points for this, but just for the 5 that we had different. Um, there's 5 different. One of us will get. I mean, I guess there's a potential that somebody else starts, but we've really listed the top 2 goaltenders on those 5 different teams. So I feel like one of us will get 3, one of us will get 2, or some sort of somebody will be the winner. There will be a winner, and we didn't have that many differences. We had 27 of 32 that were the same, with 5 differences. So that's pretty outstanding. Even though we weren't cheating or looking at each other's list, they were very, very consistent. But we'll see who is more right when the season starts.
Yeah, I'm good with doing that little competition. We will see. Y'all, let us know what you think in the comments and let us know what you think of the new format. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.